Hello and welcome back to ChäoS Head Noah. My name is Mimi Dennis, and last time we did the Remy ending where we accidentally killed off Kozupi and Senna, unfortunately, and Remy kind of reverted back into a child, and it was really weird. Like, her mentality and the relationship she had with Takumi was really unusual. The earthquake happened, and then we kind of had dove into Remy's mind to see her past trauma, and after waking up, she regained her sense of self, told Takumi to go to sleep, and decided to resolve the situation on her own by confronting Narose at the place with the machine. I forgot what it was called. And after getting some help from Shogun, she made like these feathers with many eyes in order to like distract him and end up stabbing him and finishing off Genichi Narose. And I think she ended up passing away. But Takumi, it was left like a little bit vague, but Takumi is optimistic that maybe one day they'll find them again and reunite. But yeah, that was Remy's ending. I'm not going to talk about the stuff before, even though that was technically probably only half of it, because that was a really long goddamn episode. But that was the really like the Remy portion of the route, so I decided to just touch upon that. But today we're going to do another route, so I'm just going to click start so we get a head start. But yeah, today I'm going to try to hopefully start, and I don't even know if we're going to finish the next route. So that next one should be for according to this guide, the next one would be for Nanami, our little sister. So I don't know how that's going to turn out. I feel like Takumi is not related by blood with Nanami, so they might do something. I'm not sure. But you guys are seeing what I have to go through every time I do a new game. I'm doing a new game for this one instead of starting from the beginning, because I need to do a choice that happens in chapter 1. I believe it was when we start off with like the this part, the swimsuits. So according to this guide, I have to go yes. I'm not even gonna read the choices this time. I really couldn't care less about the swimsuit stuff. Yes. Yes. And that should be it. So, until I get to the end of chapter, 1, or not the end, but where we make another choice, I will be seeing you. But it seems like we have a little bit of new dialogue. It's probably just because of the slight choices we made. So, I was trying to be friendly here. This is supposed to be a no lurker channel anyways. Okay, that stuff is the same. I'll see you at the next choice. Okay, we got our first choice. So our first choice, we're going to have the bad delusion. Don't really remember what that's about. I'm pretty sure we've probably done this already. We've done a lot of things, but let's see. No, we have not. Why the hell would I want to go see blood? It'd be way too scary. This wasn't a haunted house or horror movie. People were really dead, and the killer was still on the loose. I didn't want to go anywhere that could be even the slightest bit dangerous. Actually, what was the new Gen Killer's motive anyway? Was it just some crazy person with a few screws loose doing it for fun? That was probably the safest assumption. Not that I cared anyways. It had nothing to do with me. By the way, I happen to have a bit of a mass murder myself. Okay, we saw something like this, and he talks about ESO. Just comparing me and the killer made it clear how much better 2D is than reality, QED. Honestly, a lot of this is the same, so I'm just gonna skip it. It doesn't seem like there's anything new, like actually new here. I went to buy dinner. I took the route that I always used to go to the local convenience store from the base. It took about 3 minutes to get there. I knew the route well, with its filthy, dark streets. But today, it felt strange, like I wandered into another world. Everything looked the same as always, but it felt like I was coming here for the first time. So last time he had this delusion, Remy, or what seemed to be Remy, was there to stop him from seeing, the crucified in his delusion. So, will that still happen? And there was this odd smell like rotting garbage. I could feel the humidity clinging to my skin. If I hadn't known better, I would have assumed that it just rained. The air felt sticky. I looked and saw something on the ground, lying on the dark road.
Huh?
At first, it looked like a plastic bag filled with garbage, ignored it, and kept walking. Wait, I don't think we can see it. But when I got closer... What the... Oh, that's a cat! What the hell? I saw that it was a dead body of a cat. Ooh, this is different. Blech. Blood, shit, and piss were coming out of its body as it laid there on the road. I quickly turned away. Ew. Oh god. Oh, it's another cat. Oh, that kind of... Ooh, it didn't scare me, but that did shock me a little bit. That disgusting sight gave me goosebumps. I turned around to leave. There was another cat there. This one was alive. Its golden eyes were clearly visible in the darkness. They were staring at me. I'm watching you, Takumi. Yeah. The cat quickly vanished behind a nearby object. Something about that thing gave me the creeps. I wanted to hurry to the convenience store, but I couldn't use this route. I wasn't going to go past that dead cat. I'd have to go another way. I started walking, then I realized something. For a while now, I've been hearing this strange sound. I gulped and listened closer to hear what it was. Bong. Bong. Oh. Oh god. And we were attacked by cats. Yeah. I was sitting in front of my computer monitor. I gulped down some soda and sighed in my reclining chair. That delusion was just awful. It was probably because of all the disgusting things I've been hearing about since yesterday. Sometimes I have delusions like these, things like I could never come up with on my own. It usually happened when I was being influenced by something going on around me. Usually, they were really nasty, disgusting things. Maybe I just had too vivid of an imagination. The less I understood about something, the more likely it was to show up in my delusions. Sometimes, I got so scared I'd scream. It was one thing to do that in the base, but at school or even in a net cafe like the one I was in now, it was an absolute no-no. Okay. Oh no, it's Rimi! Oh no, it's the demon girl! Oh! Hi Nanami, this is your route this time. I wonder what's gonna happen. Last time I killed you off, but hopefully that won't happen this time. This time because we're having a positive delusion. Oh god, it's gonna be D-Gen, I can just tell. Oh. Whoa! She's drinking out of my soda. Ugh, what does that mean? I could see her pale white throat moving up and down. I heard the sound of her gulping down the liquid. Don't gulp something down. You're a girl. It's indecent. This is why 3D girls are shit. Dude, she's just drinking something. Why you have to do it? Ugh. She put down the soda and looked at me, a little annoyed. Was her face a little red, or was I imagining it? Oh my god. Huh? I certainly didn't expect to hear that. She stared at me with a pouty expression. My whole body felt like it was struck by lightning. I couldn't turn my gaze away from her dewy eyes. This was like something out of an H game. I had a chance to seduce my own little sister. I still don't really understand this incest genre, to be honest. Maybe it's for people who don't have siblings, because I think for most people that do have siblings, they'll pretty much never feel this way. Nanami's voice was getting softer and softer. She whispered in a barely audible voice, and her head dipped down. Her usual bratty attitude had disappeared completely. Oh my god. This is really getting close to, like, really wanting to be an H game. Oh, man. I tried to swallow, but my saliva refused to go down my throat. That's how much I was freaking out. I didn't understand what Nanami meant. As I stood there in shock, she took a step towards me. Why? I always thought of Nanami as just an annoying little sister. But now, my heart was pounding so fast. Nanami reached out her hands and pulled me in. She tilted her jaw just a little, as if to beg me to do it. Please stop. Oh, stop the delusion, please! And then she closed her eyes. My answer was... zip. Oh. I like big sister types more. Okay, so this is where like the last few choices apply in chapter 1. So I have to choose no. Because apparently you're supposed to love your little sister here a little bit too much. I like girls with no chest. Yes. I have another 3D girlfriend besides you. No, Nanami is the only one for me. You're cute, I'll admit that. Of course you are, Nanami. I see you more than just a little sister. I want to kiss you. Oh man, yeah, no, but it's yes. So, okay, so in that case, I guess you just make all the choices that you would if you wanted to, you know, like Nanami. Okay, fine, if you're that insistent, I'll kiss you. I'm a man, you know. I might not find Nanami attractive at all, but I've always wanted to kiss a real girl. I guess even my little sister would count. Okay. So, according to this guide, that's all the choices I need to make in order to get the Nanami ending. So I actually should be on the way to the Nanami ending. I believe we're supposed to skip to like way later, but let's see what Takumi has to say. This is just wrong. What kind of delusion was I having? I'm freaking myself out. I felt sick and disgusted with myself. Man, I am a creepy dude. Creepy. Okay, yes, let's see what creepy means, but with stars. 2000s era Japanese otaku would sometimes add the stars to the word creepy to make it even creepier. You know, I always tell myself, if Nanami was my stepsister and maybe had more of a cute little sister attitude, I might have been one of life's luckiest people. Nanami finished drinking her soda and looked at me in confusion. Crap, that delusion was making me feel all funny. I took a deep breath and wiped the disgusting delusion out of my mind. Alright, well, I'll see you whenever we have anything new. Oh, we finally got something new. I think we're in chapter 2? I don't really remember. I wasn't really paying attention. This is right after we treated Nanami to some McD's. McD's nuts. Okay, with the fish fillet, I think? Anyways, Nanami Nishijo was humming as she fiddled with her phone. She was in a good mood today. Today, she finally succeeded in dragging her brother out and making him buy a phone. Oh, right, yeah, that's what was happening. She even put a Garo Froggy strap on it. She was satisfied, like she completed a difficult mission. It's been so long since I got to go out somewhere with my big brother, too. To Nanami, it was a new experience. She wasn't sure how many times it actually happened in the past. She tried to remember, but the memories were so hazy, she couldn't remember a single time. They were brother and sister, but the two of them had never gone anywhere together. I wonder why. It's almost like the memories you have aren't there. Well, maybe it's nice to take him out on a date once in a while. Now, if only he'd ditch his gloomy personality and be a little more considerate. As she waited at the scramble crossing for the light to change, she typed a quick message to her brother on her phone. The light changed. The crowd began to walk. You shouldn't type like that, no! Nami went with the flow, eyes glued to her phone. No, stop it! It's not a good idea. Would it be? No, there's just so many people. I know it's technically not in the streets on the Scramble Crossing, but there's so many people. There's so many. Oh, there we go. There are so many people that you couldn't really walk while sending a text. Exactly! Her shoulders collided with a passing salaryman. She almost fell over. The salaryman glared at her. She bowed and put her phone into her bag. Nanami decided to focus on walking and send the message after she got on her train. Yeah, you should've. Is she gonna recognize that man? Suddenly, she saw a face she recognized coming out of the station's turnstiles. Oh, it's Rimi! Wait, so she recognizes Rimi. Now I think about it, Nanami has never seen Rimi ever since, like, the memory wipe, I think. So, like... but she still remembers Rimi. Like, in the first playthrough, I don't think we saw Rimi meet with Nanami until literally when Rimi went to save her at the giant machine Noah 2. So, this is interesting. Oh, she's like, oh crap, she saw me, no, abort! Rimi Sakihata stared at her in shock. Then, for some reason, Rimi looked away, awkwardly. Nanami ignored her and began to walk over. You're not supposed to know about me, why? Yeah. She was being strangely unfriendly. Was she going on a date with someone? Nami had wondered. If nothing else, she certainly wasn't going there on a date with her brother. After Nanami had said goodbye to him, he headed straight on home. Okay. Oh man, knowing the truth makes this really weird. Her brother hated going outside and hated talking to people. Maybe he hadn't really talked to Rimi that much. Then she tilted her head, confused. There was a strange sensation that something was wrong with her memory. Oh.
あれからっていつからだっけ?
Rimi didn't say a thing. She was looking awkwardly at the big TV above the crossing that was showing a promo for Carrera Omura's new single. I don't know who that is. Nanami tried to search her memories about Rimi and her brother's relationship. She knew these things. There's no way she couldn't know them. Just a moment ago, when she'd seen Rimi, the name had come to her instantly, and she called out to her. But for some reason, she couldn't remember much of anything about her.
そもそもナナってリミさんといつ知り合ったんだっけ?
Don't worry about it, bye!
名前知ってるんだろう?
She tried frantically to search her memories, but it was like part of them were just missing. It wasn't even at the tip of her tongue or anything. The memories were simply gone. A blank. Thinking about it made her feel sick, and for some reason, there was a sensation like something pressing on her heart.
やだな、ナナちゃん、忘れるなんて.
The awkwardness disappeared from Rimi's face and was replaced with a bright smile.
私とナナちゃんが知り合ったのはタクを通してでしょ? ほら学校でタクと一緒にいた私を見てナナちゃんが目を丸くしてさ、うわー、お兄に彼女ができた、明日地球が滅びちゃうって。
That would be something that she would probably say if she actually saw you.
え? あはは、言ったっけ、そんなこと。うん、言った。あんまりびっくりしてたから、私すごくよく覚えてる。
When she heard this, it kind of felt like something like that did happen, but there was also a sense that no, it never had. Nanami wasn't completely satisfied, but she quickly decided it didn't matter.
それで、お兄とは最近会ってます？会ってるよ。だって、クラスメートだし。
Yeah, I murdered someone in front of him. I mean, what?
でも、あんまり学校行ってないんですよね。お兄のお尻、蹴っ飛ばしてあげてください。いっつも引きこもってるんだもん。ナナの言うことはちっとも聞いてくれないし。了解。それじゃあ、ナナ帰りますね。遅くなるとお母さんに怒られちゃう。
You know, we never did see the parents, so I have no idea what they look like.
うん、またね。
I wonder if, like, they actually would kind of look similar to Takumi and Nanami. Because, like, well, we know Shogun is, well, you know, well, has special conditions. But, we don't know what Shogun would have looked like as a child, other than that one picture as, you know, when he's drawing the thing. But, okay, I guess he would probably look like Takumi if he were, not bedridden. Or, you know, yeah. Rimi waved a little as Nanami headed towards the station. She couldn't remember anything about Rimi, and it was weird that Rimi wasn't wearing her swimming uniform at this time of day, but there's something bothering her even more. Could Rimi be my brother's girlfriend? Not a chance, right? That idea seemed so unrealistic. Her brother getting a girlfriend was so unlikely, it would be a sign of the end times. She said so herself. Okay, well, that was unexpected. Oh. Whoa. Oh. Huh. So, as you can probably see, we're in chapter 6, the part where normally we get Nanami's hand, but here, well, her hand is missing, so I guess, yeah, I mean, I already said we're locked into Nanami's ending, and I thought it was going to be weird if she didn't have a hand for that one, but I guess this is the solution. We have her phone and a bunch of blood, but there's no proof that it was, you know, Nanami's hand. So apparently in this ending, we get to skip like the yes/no stuff at the top of O-Front, which is where we would normally go later, but I'm not exactly sure what happens. I don't know if we're going anymore. Don't know how crazy Takumi's gonna be now that there isn't an actual live flesh hand here, but I guess we'll see. What I saw was the same model phone that I had. It was bloodstained. I knew exactly what that meant. I guess he'll probably still have like the same-ish delusions. Oh, we're in chapter 7 now. Oh, so... Ooh. Okay, now we're locked in. I think the title of the chapter was called Daydream, so I guess that's what Nanami's ending is going to be called. I'd lost the ability to think clearly. I flung open the door to the base and ran outside, so I guess we're not doing the stuff on O-Front this time. That's why it got cut out, so the chapter just cuts out there. I see. A nasty sweat clung to my whole body and it made the night wind feel colder than usual. I realized I wasn't even wearing shoes. I could feel the coldness of the concrete beneath my feet. I had to go to O-Front, like Shogun had said. I was scared. I didn't want to go. I wanted to head right back into my room, curl up into a ball, and forget about everything. But if I didn't, it felt like something terrible would happen to Nanami. The tears wouldn't stop coming. I wiped them away with the palm of my hands, but my vision was still blurry.
Nanami.
I whispered. My voice sounded even more pathetic than I thought. It made me want to throw up. I shook my head, trying as hard as I could to drive away the weakness swelling up inside me. If I stopped for even a moment here, I'd never be able to go to O-Front. I had to keep the momentum going. I was worried about Nanami, too worried to do nothing. That's why I'd run out of my room like this. Wait, too worried to do nothing? Okay, yeah, good point. Yeah. I thought I said too worried, so I did nothing. I was like, wait, what? Keep up the momentum, get to O-Front, and things will work out. Hurry, put on your shoes, grab your Seroton figure as a good luck charm, then run, just run! Keep the pressure on yourself. Right now, you're the only person who can save Nanami. I clench my jaw, and as I head back into the base to get my shoes, and... I thought I heard a sound. I leapt up in surprise. I looked towards the source of the sound and saw someone there. What? Nanami, why are you naked? Nanami? I rubbed my eyes and stared at her. It was Nanami. She was my little sister. I couldn't possibly mistake her for someone else.
Nanami!
Did someone drug her and she took their clothes and just left her here? I mean, in this one they didn't have her hand either. I wonder why. I hurried over to her. For some reason, she was stark naked. She was slumped forward, and I couldn't see what her expression was like. Her slender body was shivering.
Nanami!
I didn't know what happened or what to do. All I could do was keep saying her name. I wanted to give her a big hug, but she'd probably just call me a pervert big brother later if I did. What? She's got those dead, mind-controlled eyes. She slowly lifted her head. Her face was deathly pale. Even her lips were pale. She was so pale I thought she might die at any moment. Her eyes were empty. But big tears fell from them when she saw me.
Oni... Nana wa...
どうしたんだよ、お前。大丈夫なの?
Nanami softly shook her head.
ナナはなんでここにいるの？よく思い出せないよ。
We gotta get you some clothes. You're gonna catch a cold. I checked her over to see if she was injured. Of course, I avoid looking at anything I shouldn't see. Just so we're clear, I'm not getting horny over my IRL little sister. I'm not interested in seeing her naked at all. Anyway, she didn't seem hurt. So what was that blood on her phone then? No, I could think about that later. Come into the base. We'll deal with the other things later.
とにかく寒いから中に。
I offered her a hand. Her movements were stiff. And she was still shaking too. She was like a newborn fawn. She grabbed my hand. She was cold. She was so cold it made me scream.
お前、冷えすぎだろ。
Okay, so she's definitely... Okay, I wasn't sure what happened. I was hoping that maybe in this route, that phone thing was going to be a prank, and she wanted to see how much her brother cared for her. But no, she seems like she's kind of messed up. I wonder why it changed here, because in the other routes, it was confirmed that Nozomi captured her. But, like, I don't know what caused them to not send the arm this time. And I don't know why she's just out here naked. I mean, even in the other one, when she was captured by Nozomi, she still had her clothes. Did they decide, oh no, we don't need you anymore, we just need your clothes, and took those? Like, why? I touched her bare shoulder, knowing that she'd probably yell at me. It was cold too. I should get her... wait, should I get her into the warm shower? Or first get her something warm to drink? You don't have a shower here. You kind of shower outside. Okay, now I'm taking a look at this area. I'm starting to understand how he lives. So all the toiletries he has are literally just outside of his room. There's a washing machine, there's a dryer there, there's probably a, like he mentioned, a hot plate, and there's a drawer and everything. So yeah. Either way, I certainly couldn't leave her out here naked. Now wasn't the time to worry about what she might think. That was a weird start to her ending. I just keep thinking, like, why? Oh, okay. Is that a Seroton shirt? It's probably Seroton. Yeah, it is. You can see the SE. I wanted to choose the cleanest clothes I had for her to wear, but there wasn't much at all. I didn't have many clothes beside my school uniform anyway. So I ended up giving her a limited edition Bloodtoon sweatshirt that I've been keeping unworn in mint condition. I made some instant coffee for her too. Oh, at least he cares enough to give her his limited edition unworn sweater. That's true love right there. I didn't drink coffee normally, but I remember that a long time ago, Nanami had brought me a bunch of snacks and food from my parents, and mixed in with the lot there had been some instant coffee. It hadn't expired yet, so it should still be okay. Nanami was sitting quietly on the sofa. She still looked pale, but getting something to wear had calmed her down. She wasn't shaking anymore. I poured coffee in a cup and silently handed it over to her. She took it without complaint. You know what? Even though this ending started off really weird, I am liking what Takumi's doing. He's doing everything right so far. She held the cup with both hands, staring at the black liquid within. You want me to put like Coke in it or something? She seemed satisfied with my explanation and pursed her lips before blowing on the coffee. Then she slowly lifted it to her mouth. What do you think? I just boiled that! Oh man, this like wince expression makes it seem like she's in so much pain. Was she always that sensitive to hot drinks? I couldn't remember. I never actually cared to think about it. Nanami was giving her full attention to the act of drinking the coffee. It seemed to warm her up a little. The color was returning to her cheeks. Well, what do you want me to do? We can just put it outside. It's pretty cold there, apparently. Then why had she complained in the first place? But at least she recovered enough to be able to complain. The background started getting wavy again. I worked up my courage to ask the question that had been on my mind. When I'd seen the bloody phone, I was sure that Nanami had been kidnapped by Shogun. But I'd been totally wrong. She was here, not at Old Front. The one thing I couldn't understand, though, was that how that had happened. That and where her clothes had gone. It was also strange that she'd been so cold. Nanami just stared into her coffee cup. It's the Shibuya soundtrack. Amnesia? I did see this cop though. Well, yeah, you didn't have anything on you, so you probably lost it. Well, you know, like in an H game, she would have been raped or something. But I couldn't ask her that. And since she didn't seem to be hurt at all, the odds were probably pretty low. She looked up like she just remembered something.
Huh?
Is that goddamn bangle's fault? Oh, it's always the bangle.
それはわかんないけど。
Nanami looked gloom. This was getting me nowhere. Talking to her right now wasn't going to tell me a thing. Should I take her to a hospital? Maybe I should call my parents first. They could come get her.
ねえお兄、
You know, honestly, calling your parents would probably be the logical thing to do, but I feel like you're not going to.
今日ここに泊まっちゃダメ？
なんでだよ。
Yeah, but why?
なんだかナナ混乱しててわけわかんなくて、あんまり動きたくないよ。
You know, actually, now I think about it, there is the option that this might all be a delusion. But if this all is just a delusion, it feels like kind of a waste for Nanami's entire ending to be a delusion, so... And, like, we didn't see her hand, so it's clearly a different scenario. I don't know, I'll keep playing and see. Well, she wasn't being as obnoxious as she usually was. It wouldn't hurt to let her stay for just one night.
親には連絡しとけよ。
The box was still in the corner of my room. I took the bloody cell phone from inside it. I wiped the blood with a wet tissue before handing it to her.
ナナの携帯だ。
これ送ってきたのってナナミなの？
She seemed confused. I felt dumb for asking the question.
親に連絡したらシャワー浴びてこいよ。体温めた方がいいと思うし。
Where the hell is the shower? The shower was outside. Ah, I knew it. It was a simple prefab shower placed next to the shipping container, but did have running water, so I'd insisted on that. There was no bathtub, so I went to a public bath when I wanted to take a bath. Normally, though, I just took showers. Oh,
浴び
stabilized.
てくる。ねえ一緒に。
I think we're past the age for that.
は？
Had my little sister gone crazy? She chuckled when she saw my astonishment.
違うよ。一緒に入るわけないじゃん。でも一人で外に出るのなんだか怖くて。
Yeah, that makes sense. She showed up outside my place naked and couldn't remember how she got there or where her clothes were. Of course she'd be scared.
だからナナがシャワー浴びている間、声が聞こえるところにいてほしいなって。ダメかな。
She was looking up at me. She seemed like she really meant it. The way she looked. Crap. I was starting to find my little sister. I was starting to find my own sister Moe. No!
わかったよ。
I guess we are going to the incest route. I guess it is pretty incesting. Okay. Brace yourself, Dennis. Okay. She was having a bad time today. It wouldn't kill me to act like a little big brother for once. Yeah, act like you're an Oni-chan. I could hear some kind of sound. I was only half conscious, but I could still hear it. What was that sound? It felt like I'd heard it somewhere before. Oh right, a cell phone, set to vibrate. Was somebody calling my phone? Nobody ever called me. Could it be that Torianse guy song again? If so, I didn't want to answer. It was creepy, and the last time I'd heard it, it knocked me out for an hour. I decided to ignore it and go back to sleep, but once you heard a sound, it was hard to unhear. And whoever it was kept calling again and again. I mean, if your little sister is missing and hadn't come home, I think the parents would probably call you. I opened my eyes. I was lying on the floor. Nami was lying on the sofa, or so I thought, but when I looked, she wasn't there. Where'd she gone? To the bathroom? Or maybe she decided that she didn't want to stay over after all, and gone home? I still wasn't fully awake, but the phone kept ringing. It had been over 3 minutes now. You'd think that you would have set the answering machine by now. Maybe I forgot to set it up? They were so persistent that I finally gave in and grabbed the phone off my desk. I looked at the display to see who was calling and... Unlisted number. I couldn't tell who it was then. I didn't want to answer. Really didn't want to. Oh, that's Nanami.
誰？
お兄。
Oh, is this gonna be the same exact call as the one that we heard in the original route? The one where it's like, I forgot what the context was, but it's like, please save me or something. It was Nanami. I sighed, relieved. Where the hell was she calling from? She'd been barely able to stand a few hours ago, and she'd been saying all that stuff about not wanting to go even outside. Or even go outside.
どこにいるんだ？
右手を
Oh.
返して。
Okay. Okay, so the event still did happen, but he ended up getting a delusion that Nanami was okay and everything was fine. But the real Nanami was still kidnapped. We didn't have her right hand though, so it's kind of weird. That really bothers me. I don't know why they didn't send him the right hand, because normally that's what would have happened. And now this doesn't really make sense.
ナナの右手。
I hung up. What the hell was she going on about? Oh god. Oh god. Does that mean in this route we're gonna end up like just accepting our delusion of Nanami while the real Nanami kind of dies because no one's going over to help her? How annoying. What kind of dumb trick was she trying to pull? Stop wasting my time. I felt silly for being worried. Evidently, she was feeling better. No need to go looking for her, then. She was probably calling from the public bathrooms on the floor below. So like, this time, like, so in the original game, or the original timeline, he hugged Nanami and she kind of dispersed into light, and he kind of fell into despair, knowing that like, a lot of the things he thought were real were just illusions. But this time he touched her and everything, brought her to her room, felt that it was cold, and like, physically gave stuff to her. So like, did he real boot Nanami? And essentially created a second little sister, kind of like how Shogun created our Takumi? I was really tired. I didn't have time to put up with this crap. I threw away the phone, lay right down, and closed my eyes. So the stress of trying to save Nanami is gone now. Okay, Nasu.
起きなさい。起きたらおはようのキスしてあげるからさ。って私何言ってんだろ。バカバカ今の忘れて。
Oh, I hate Serotan with a passion.
ちょっといつまで寝てるんさ。このボケナス。
I woke up to the sound of Serotan's voice. Nanami was still nowhere to be seen. Had she really left without saying a word to me, or had she gone to school? What day was it today? Was today one of the days I was scheduled to go to school? I felt spaced out, like there was a fog settled over my head. I still wasn't fully awake. What time was it? I sat there on the floor trying to wake up when... Oh, she still has a sweater.
お兄やっと起きた。
The door opened and Nanami poked her head in.
帰ったんじゃないのか。
Give me my sweater back! At least until you get new clothes, which you should have gotten if you went home.
帰ってないよ。泊まるって言ったじゃん。
ということは、やっぱり昨日の深夜のあれはいたずらだったんだな。もう二度とやるな。
いたずら？何のこと？
The delusion does not know the doings of the real one. Which is kind of fitting because Takumi doesn't know anything about Shogun. Nanami had a confused look on her face. She was playing dumb, I realized. She was trying hard to lie her way out of this. She must think I was a complete idiot if she was trying to get away with this. In the cold morning light, I realized just how dangerous her outfit was. There was nothing under that sweatshirt, nothing at all. Yeah. Each time she moved her hands, the hem of the skirt went up, and looked like I might see something I wasn't supposed to see.
お兄、どこ見てんの？
I feel like in this case, you should either call your parents, and or at least call Rimi to help get some clothes for her, because like, well, first of all, Takumi can't go outside for two reasons. He's too afraid because of Shogun, and he has to stay home for his sister. And well, Nanami can't go outside because she's traumatized. At least she should be, but yeah. He's not. At first, I was like, good job on doing the right thing by taking your sister out, giving her clothes, getting her something warm to drink to like just kind of help her get into the groove again. But like afterwards, it hasn't really been particularly optimal.
どこも
She pulled down the hammock to cover her legs.
そんな伸ばすな。そのトレーナー貴重なんだぞ。
ナナよりトレーナーが心配なんだ。お兄のバカ。
That's because I had to pay for it. I'd pay for you to get out of my life, is what Takumi probably would have said earlier.
言っとくけど、下着を履いてるもんね。
Uh-oh. Huh? You are? That's a shame. Wait, no, knock it off. Don't get horny over your own little sister. Where'd she get the underwear from then? Well, at least she was back to being the normal Nanami. She looked like she was in real bad shape yesterday, but evidently a good night's sleep had fixed her up. I smelled something really good. Was that the smell of frying bacon?
ねえねえ、お兄も朝ごはん食べる？
朝ごはん。
今作ってるんだけど。
The base's kitchen, or rather the sink, was outside the shipping container, next to the shower room. There was no gas running to the roof. Instead, there was a simple portable gas burner that had gotten for real cheap online. Of course, I never cooked, so I threw it in a drawer somewhere and forgotten about it. Had Nanami managed to find it and drag it out then?
メニューが。
サンドイッチとベーコンエッグ。
That sounds pretty good.
ここのキッチンじゃあんまり凝ったもの作れないしね。それにお兄は貧乏舌だからむしろシンプルなものの方がいいかなって。
I couldn't appreciate the real stuff, yes. We got Ramsey here. My normal breakfast was a bottle of soda and a pastry. This would be the first real breakfast I'd had in a long time. And I never thought I'd want to have my little sister cook for me, but she was actually doing it. It made me pretty happy. Maybe I could forgive her for what happened last night then.
よし。さっさと用意しろ。
うわー偉そう。まったく少しは感謝してよね。
止めてやったんだから。むしろそっちが感謝しろよ。
それもそうかも。じゃあ一応感謝感謝。
I don't know where this is leading to. Not at all. I thought she'd give me a little bow or something, but she didn't. She smiled and left.
お兄、外で食べようよ。折りたたみ式のテーブルあったでしょ。それ持ってきて。
Crap. I just gotten up and already she was bossing me around. That breakfast she was making had better be good. I wonder who made this illusion. Was it Shogun? Or maybe Rimi? Or maybe even herself? I don't know. I set up a simple folding table and chairs, the kind you might use when camping, and waited 5 minutes or so. When it was ready, Nanami brought breakfast to the table and set it down. It looked pretty good. Nanami had always helped Mom with her cooking, so she was a surprisingly good cook. Well, only 2 of the girls were allowed to be bad at cooking, and then say, "Whoops, I messed up the cooking," when they screwed up. If my 3D sister said that, I'd be really weirded out. I might kick her off the ledge if she ever tried that. No, that can actually kill people. We see it in another ending. Nanami smiled and sat down in the chair next to me.
なんで隣に座るんだよ。
You're too close. Our shoulders are about to touch. I can't eat with somebody this close to me. I moved my chair a distance away from Nanami.
だってここに椅子が置いてあったんだもん。お兄が置いたんでしょ？
Well, I mean, I guess I did. These were camping chairs, less than 30 centimeters high. Even a girl could easily pick one up. If she wanted to move it, she could have.
もういいよ。ほら、お兄、食べなよ。いただきまーす。
She put her hands together and then dug in with her chopsticks. She was... Wait a second. Aren't they having sandwiches? I mean, I guess you can eat them with chopsticks, but... Well, whatever. She was hungrier than I thought she'd be. Evidently, she was feeling a lot better. It was like the weak girl I'd seen last night had been a lie. Maybe it was a lie. Of course, there was only one reason she'd lied to me.
大好きなお兄と一緒にいたくて嘘ついちゃったの。
Like that? Wah, lol. That kind of H game, was it? Was this? Lol lol? Of course, I knew exactly what I'd say. But I refuse. Oh man, he really likes anime. Oh man, I already knew that, but come on.
お兄、なんかニヤニヤしてる。また変な妄想でもしてた？
You have no idea. No idea at all. I quickly looked away. I took one of the sandwiches and put it in my mouth.
うまい。
It was a ham sandwich with mayo and everything. Of course, it's not like a ham sandwich is hard to make, but considering that there was nothing here but a few seasonings I bought, it was pretty amazing.
でしょでしょ。わざわざ朝早くに24時間やってるスーパーに行っていろいろ買ってきたんだよ。
買ってきたって、その格好でどんだけ知書なんだよ。
I didn't have too much of a choice, as you can probably tell.
知女じゃないもん。このままで外歩けるわけないじゃん。ちゃんとお兄のズボン借りてそれ履いて行ってきたよ。下着だって買ってきたし。
Oh, so she bought underwear then. But that meant that until she bought the underwear, she was wearing a boy's sweatshirt and pants with no bra or panties underneath. Hot.
本当はこのトレーナーも着替えたかったんだよ。アニメの絵が描いてあって結構恥ずかしいし。
Pathetic.
でもお兄が着せてくれたんだから勝手に着替えちゃうのも悪いかななんて。
No, I want it back. It's a limited edition. Huh. She didn't understand Saratan's charm then. Proof that she was an airhead. But while I might be comfortable wearing that shirt in Akihabara, even I wouldn't have the courage to wear it in the middle of Shibuya.
それでお金は？
I took yours.
ちょうどね、借りたズボンに財布が入ってたから大丈夫だったよ。
Her tiny mouth was chewing on a piece of bacon as she spoke. Fine? What was fine?
その財布僕のだろ。僕の金使ったのかよ。
だってナナ、昨日お財布もなくしちゃったもん。
だからって勝手に使うなよ。
Nanami wasn't listening to my complaining though. She was looking depressed as she smashed up the yellow yolk of her egg.
財布もなくしちゃったし、学校のカバンもどっか行ったし、それにバングルがなくなっちゃったのが一番ショック。
I wasn't happy either, you know. I mean, I had enough cash from all the real money trading I did, but it still felt like I'd been stolen from.
あんな安物のバングルなんかなくしたってどうってことないだろ。
Oh, you have no idea, man. She would kill for it, actually. You know, something I'd given her for free, too. It shouldn't matter to her at all if she lost it. Why was it such a big deal to her? Nanami fidgeted.
だって初めてお兄からもらったプレゼントだったんだもん。すごく嬉しかったのに。
Aww. You're not gonna fool me. You can act cute all you want, but it doesn't change the fact that you took cash from my wallet.
ナナね、絶対見つけ出すから。なくしたままにしておくなんてできないよ。
For some reason, she was clenching her fists as she spoke. As I looked down at her hands, I saw that there was a white bandage wrapped around her sleeve near the right wrist.
その
Oh.
あ、これ？
She pulled back her sleeve to show me. Sure enough, there had been bandage wrapped around her wrist. It hadn't been there when I found her naked last night. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if she said that last time she was like, oh, I got this from, like, basketball or something, but, like, this time we know that she didn't have it before coming into the container, and, you know, she got it sometime between leaving and coming back here, so, there's not, unless she, like, literally fell down outstairs, she doesn't really have a reason.
右手を返して。ナナの右手。
Now I got it. This was the next step to the prank that she was pulling. She was going all out on it. What was the point?
そんな包帯外せよ。いたずらにしたって悪趣味だよ。
いたずらなんかじゃないよ。朝起きてから右手がちょっとズキズキするの。
Hmm. Hmm. When she woke up. So, okay, so this is probably the same time as when our other delusion, Nanami, got her bandage as well. So that means that she's probably made up by the real Nanami's delusion, and because she started feeling pain or something, and it kind of translated to her delusion feeling it. Either that or Takumi's delusion of Nanami, because once he found out about that, it appeared. So it's either Nanami or Takumi's delusion.
原因はわかんないけど、とりあえず包帯買って巻いたんだ。
月々痛むのに包帯だけ巻いたって意味ないだろ。
包帯だけのわけないじゃん。ちゃんと湿布も貼ったよ。
だったら湿布だけでいいじゃないか。わざわざ包帯を巻く意味がわからない。
そうだけど、ほら、病は気からって言うし。
It makes me feel powerful. I'm suppressing the darkness within me. Oh man, no, that's something that Takumi would say. That made even less sense.
いいから取れよ。
I looked like I was casually eating a sandwich, but my heart was racing. Maybe I was overthinking things, but if Nanami's call last night hadn't been a prank after all, maybe her cheerfulness right now was just an act, and she was actually in huge trouble. Trouble she didn't want me to find out about.
もう、ほんと、わがままなお兄だな。
She reluctantly began to take off the bandage. I was caught off guard by how easily she agreed. Maybe I was overthinking things after all. I took a bite of bacon and egg, making sure to avoid looking at her arm.
はい、取ったよ。
Whose eyes are those? I gulped and took a deep breath, and then slowly turned to look at my sister's arm. The skin under the bandage looked just fine. She wasn't injured at all. There wasn't even a bruise. Wait, has she taken the compressed off too? I hadn't even told her to do that. I grabbed her hand and brought it close to my face so I could look at it.
お兄?
So he physically touched her again this time.
傷なんてない。何にもない。
あるなんて一言も言ってないよ。ズキズキするんだって説明したじゃん。
Yeah, that's right. I've been overthinking things after all. Maybe I was just paranoid after the message from Shogun yesterday. Wait a second.
くそー、お前の腕が湿布くさ。
I winced and pushed her arm away. It's almost like I said I had a compression pad on it.
女の子に臭いって言うなんて最低。バカ鬼。
うるさい。さっさと飯食って学校行け。
Oh, whoops. That was an accident. I didn't want to waste any more of my valuable time dealing with my little sister.
あ、そっか。学校か。でも、制服ないのにどうやって行こう。
確かに。
First, you can probably go home.
今日は学校休んで家に帰ろっと。
There we go. Go
ブラウスとス
home.
カートの会話あるけど、ブレザーはどうしよう。新しく買ってもらうしかないかな。
As Nanami started mumbling to herself about her next steps, I finished my breakfast and headed back inside my shipping container. Whoa! Oh, that scared me.
28日未明、渋谷区小東の路上で男性の変死体が発見されました。
A man's body was found early in the 28th. Which murder? This is the murder to replace her murder. I don't remember when this is.
被害者は練馬区に住む橋谷康之さん31歳で、死因は異物を喉に詰まらせたことによる窒息死とみられています。
Is this the brain one? No,
被害者
no.
の口に
It's
は
Takashina.
ハサミで細かく切り刻まれた大量の布が詰め込まれており、また胃の中からも同様の布が多数見つかりました。
Okay, I don't know if I have bad memory, but I have absolutely no recollection of this one. Not at
警
all.
察の発表によりますと、布は渋谷区にある私立水明学園の女子冬用制服である可能性が高いとのことです。
This is a completely different one.
水明学園は 現場から徒歩で3分ほどの距離にあり、警察では事件との関連を調べています。
Oh god, someone literally like cut up, or maybe not even cut up, but like shoved an entire school uniform down someone's throat. Ew. Another new murder. They die from having chopped up pieces of a Suime girl's uniform stuffed in their mouth? Could that uniform be Nanami's? Yeah, no way it was a coincidence. The timing was too good. It had to be Shogun. He must have kidnapped her as a part of the murder and then taken her uniform. Shogun was taunting me. I would be next. It was finally my turn to be killed.
お兄、どうしたの？
I almost fell out of my chair when I heard Nanami's voice behind me. Wait a second.
顔色悪いみたいだけど。
The normal Nanami has her clothes though, so that means this Nanami was created before the normal Nanami was kidnapped, because they'd have to have time to take her clothes and then... I don't know, it's just too much work to think.
Nanami.
I reach out a hand towards Nanami.
僕は殺される。
殺されるって、そんな冗談やめてよ。
本当なんだ。間違いない。あいつは次こそ僕を狙ってくる。ナナミごめん、僕のせいで。あいつはお前のこと誘拐して。僕は、どうすれば。怖い。怖いよ。
I didn't want to look like a wimp in front of my little sister, but I didn't have the strength to keep it together any longer. I wanted to turn to someone for help. I wanted someone to protect me. Rimi hadn't contacted me at all lately. Ase was in the hospital. There wasn't anybody else I could count on to protect me. Nanami gently grabbed my outstretched hand. I'll protect you, Oni-san.
本当にはダメダメだな。一人じゃ何にもできないんだから。きっとゲームのやりすぎで疲れてるんだよ。今日はパソコンはやらずにソファーで横になってた方がいいよ。
I haven't been able to do that because someone's taken my bed.
僕を一人にしないで。
わかった、わかったから。お兄を一人になんかしないよ。
本当？
昨日はナナがお兄に優しくしてもらったから、そのお礼。
I hope it's a Friday or a Saturday. I don't know the Japanese school schedule, but I hope there's no school the next day because I'm going to miss 2 days of class now.
ナナミ。
Family was so important to have. I couldn't rely on strangers when it really counted. My families were the only people I could really, truly rely on. I felt so relieved that she offered me her hand that I almost cried. I clung tightly to her hand.
甘えん坊だね、お兄って。これじゃあナナがお姉さんで、お兄が弟みたいだよ。
うるさいな。
はいはい。よしよし。
Yosh yosh. She patted my head jokingly. To her, it might just be a joke, but right now, having somebody touch me made me feel so much better.
ナナミ、頼みがある。
何？
Since all we usually did was fight, it was embarrassing to ask this, but I couldn't afford to be embarrassed right now.
今日も
なんでそこで黙っちゃうかな。ちゃんと言ってくれなきゃわかんないってば。
Stay with me.
今日も泊まっていってくれ。
I'd feel better if she did. I couldn't handle the thought of spending the night alone, terrified Shogun would come for me. Nami probably wouldn't like it though. She might call me a pervert if I wasn't lucky. I looked up at her, scared of what she might say.
なんだ、そんなことか。別に何泊したっていいよ。
本当？
一応、ナナだってお兄の心配はしてるんだからね。さすがに、今のお兄を放っておけないよ。
Knowing that she's, kind of delusion now, I'm pretty sure she's a delusion. Feels kind of weird.
ありがとう。助かる。
Ooh, family really was what mattered most. No, having a real little sister was what mattered most, and I was so glad to have a little sister named Nanami. Now, all she had to do was stop being such a brat, and she'd be the perfect sibling. Oh, wavy. Nanami hadn't come back. She headed out around lunchtime to do some shopping and get some clothes from home. She waved to me as she left, saying that she'd be right back. 8 hours had passed since then. During that time, I hadn't gone online or even watched Bloodtoon. I just sat on the sofa and waited for her to come back. I clutched my phone tight in my hands, checking every minute to see if she had sent me a message. I tried to call her, but only got a message saying phone was off or out of service area. Wow, so I guess like each one of these endings is gonna revolve around Takumi being hyper dependent on a certain person. So here, like in Rimi's route, it was Rimi, although that you can also say that was in like both routes. In this one, it's Nanami. Why hadn't she come back? Did her parents say something to her when she got home? Like what? Siblings or not, it's not appropriate for a girl and boy your age to be sleeping in the same room. Yeah, I can see that. Wait, no, I couldn't. Not a chance in hell. Or maybe they were fighting over her lost uniform. Then I realized that she must have been wandering around Shibuya naked before she arrived at the base. Honestly, it's a wonder the cops didn't grab her. I could see her parents going to the police when they found out. But what if something even worse had happened? What if Shogun had grabbed Nanami on her way home? Maybe his servant Yua had done it? Kind of forgot that, you know, he thought Yua was part of Shogun's crew. What if she was already dead? Maybe Shogun had already sent me another message. I didn't have the courage to check my computer to see, though.
ナナミ、僕を一人にしないで。
I want her to come back as soon as she could. I want her to skip school and stay with me until things calm down. Rimi promised to stay with me, but now she was gone. If I lost Nanami too, I'd... Whoa! The phone in my hand suddenly started to vibrate. I hit the button to start the call almost immediately.
もしもし、ナナミ。
Oh, this is real Nanami.
おい、ナナミ、今どこにいる？
お兄、助けて。
I froze. Had Shogun kidnapped her after all?
どうして見捨てたの？ねえ、お兄。
将軍か。あいつに何かされたの？
痛いよ。右手が痛いの。
まただ。
I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I put down the phone and whispered the words almost unconsciously. Deja vu. I had the same exact conversation last night. She told me to give her back her right hand, then too. I thought it was a prank. But maybe it wasn't. I couldn't tell. I covered my head with my hands and curled up into a ball. Nanami, where are you? Come back. Well, there we go. Nanami came back. I think. Probably. Oh, never mind. I went outside with no real destination in mind. The sky was already dark and not even the moon was out. I could see the city of Shibuya in the distance. It was shrouded in a faint glow of light. Even after coming outside, though, I didn't have the energy to go looking for Nanami. Should I try calling her again? It was possible that she was just pranking me 2 days in a row. Maybe I was just being paranoid.
お兄、何してんの？
What? Oh, casual Nanami clothes. I think we've seen this before. I'm pretty sure we did. I gasped and turned around towards the direction of the voice I had just heard. Nanami was there, holding shopping bags and looking at me confused. She was wearing different clothes than when she had left. She must have changed at home.
お前、今までどこに？
I told you I went shopping and went home.
ごめんね、遅くなっちゃって。お母さんと一緒に新しい制服を買いに行ってたら、こんな時間になっちゃった。
Oh, wait, I think in Japanese she said we had to buy a new uniform. I think. I'm not sure. My Japanese is not great. That was the most likely of possibilities I'd been considering, but there was one thing that didn't make sense then.
さっきの電話は？
電話って？ああ、 メールで送れるって伝えておけばよかったね。
そうじゃなくて、電話してきただろ。僕の携帯に。
してないよ。鬼、ボケボケだね。
She answered with a smile. This conversation wasn't making sense.
それより、今日の晩ご飯、なんだと思う？ひひ。
Curry?
なんと、ハンバーグだよ。
Oh.
ナナの手作りだよ。これから作るから、お兄も手伝ってね。
待てよ。電話したよな。右手を返せとか言ったよな。
もう、しつこい。言ってないってば。誰かと間違えてるんじゃないの？
So we're just gonna completely ignore the other Nanami in this route. Ooh, that feels bad. She looked genuinely annoyed as she headed inside the shipping container. Was she lying to me? It sure didn't look like it. And anyway, Nanami wasn't the type of girl to play a mean prank like that. At least, I couldn't remember any time she'd done something like that. So, what was that phone call then? Another one of Shogun's traps? I felt the prickling on my neck. Somebody was looking at me. It felt like... Whose eyes are those? After dinner...
ナナミ、話がある。
何？
She was reading one of the manga volumes I had piled up in the corner of my room. When she spoke, she didn't look up from the book that she had her nose in.
真面目な話だから、ちゃんと聞けよ。
どうしたの？急に改まっちゃって。
She closed the book and sat up straight.
これでいい？
おとといのことは、何か思い出した。
2 days ago, when I found her naked outside my shipping container. Her clothes, her bag, and her bangle were all missing. Her cell phones had been sent to me in a cardboard box covered in blood. That wasn't normal. Nanami had just said that she didn't know how she ended up like that. She had mild amnesia. But what about now? Has she gotten better? The Nanami in front of me sure seemed like the Nanami I knew. Her expression darkened and she gently shook her head.
まだ。
全く。全然。
全く、全然。なるべくね、そのことは考えないようにしてたんだ。お母さんにも話してないし。おかげで、制服がなくなった理由、ごまかすの大変だったよ。
Maybe I should take her to a hospital after all. What kind of doctors handled amnesia? Psychiatrists? Psychiatrist? I mean, whoops. Maybe I could get Dr. Takashina to look at her. No. Then I remember that Dr. Takashina is dead.
ナナミ。僕は、命を狙われてる。
Her eyes went wide. She probably thought I was crazy. What was the truth? I decided to open up to her about everything. About Shogun, about how I'd seen the third New-Gen murder, Crucified, about the strange and terrifying things that had been happening to me since then, about the threatening message I received from Shogun just before I found her, and about the 2 strange calls from the fake Nanami. At first, she chuckled. This is all just some kind of delusion of yours, right? But eventually, she realized that I wasn't joking. Her expression tensed up.
いいか、これからしばらくは、一人で外に出ちゃダメだ。どこで襲われるかわからないから。
お兄、ナナ、怖いよ。
僕だって怖いよ。だから、二人で協力するんだ。
Together, we could support each other. I wasn't sure how much of a loser like me could provide any kind of support to Nanami, but without her help, I wouldn't last much longer. Ideally, I would have liked someone who could physically protect me. I wasn't sure about going to the police for help. The detectives I'd talked to in front of the Kurenai building were nowhere to be found since then. What happened to that stuff about sending someone to protect me? No, they sent someone to attack you instead. And they might still think I was the one behind the Crucified murder too, so I couldn't trust the police. I had to stay inside the base as much as possible until I came up with a plan. Nanami was just sitting on the sofa, sunk into it. Her arms were wrapped around her trembling body. A few moments later, I sat down on my sofa, staring blankly at the Seraton poster on my wall. My room was much cleaner than it had been. After I finished the story, Nanami had sat there silently for a while, before suddenly saying that she wanted to clean my room. After 2 or 3 hours, it was in a much better state. Nanami had probably wanted to do something to take her mind off of what I told her, I assumed. Now she was lying on the bed. Oh, the bed is actually available now. How long has it been since anybody had used that bed for its intended purpose? I vaguely remember sleeping on it for the first few months after I moved here. I hadn't wanted her to clean my room, but now that it was done, I realized it was the right thing to do. Last night, she slept on the sofa, and I slept on the floor. It had been horribly uncomfortable, and I was glad for the chance to sleep on the sofa tonight. As nocturnal as I was, though, I couldn't go to sleep as early as Nanami. Well, it was past midnight, so maybe it wasn't early, but even that was early for me. I always went to sleep at around the time the sun started to come up. So here I was, sitting on the sofa, just staring into space. Had Nanami gone to sleep? I couldn't hear the sound of her snoring. Maybe she read my mind because she turned over on the bed and poked her head out from the covers.
ねえ、お兄。
寝てなかったの？
うん。
Nanami looked like she wanted to say something. After a few moments of hesitation, she whispered.
あのね、一緒に寝てあげようか？あ、別にナナが一緒に寝たいわけじゃないよ。ほら、ダメダメお兄は怖くて一人じゃ寝つけないみたいだから、本当は嫌だけど、今日だけは特別ってことで。
Her words started to have more and more force behind them. She wasn't coming out and saying it, but from the sounds of things, she was too scared to sleep. Aww, this is kind of wholesome, actually. Wait, I forgot her outfit. Is she wearing the Seraton thing again? Because I thought that shirt was that color scheme. So now, so now here we are, or here we were.
もし、いやらしいことしたら、本気で怒るからね。
するわけないだろ。
わかんないじゃん。ついムラムラしちゃったりするんじゃないの？
しないって言ってるだろ。妹にムラムラなんかできるか。
それはそれでちょっとショック。少しくらいムラムラしてほしいな。
誰がするか。文句ばっかり言うなら、一緒に寝るのはなしだ。
ごめんなさい。もう言いません。
She pouted and fell silent. Man, how you're trying to go to sleep, but your eyes are extremely open. How are you gonna go to sleep that way? This was more embarrassing than I expected, and my heart was pounding too. Even if she was my little sister, I've never been this close to a 3D girl, let alone sleep on the same bed as one. I said I didn't think she was cute, but that was a lie. She actually kind of was. And why was she looking at me anyway? Close your eyes, don't look at me!
なんだか変な感じだね。
Yes.
ねえ、お兄はナナのこと鬱陶しいって思ってる？
I mean, talking to me probably does. Honestly, I think she, as a little sister, she's pretty alright. She has, honestly, hasn't really done much wrong.
思ってるんだ。
I did. She was bratty, she talked back, and she wouldn't leave me alone. At least that's what I used to think. After spending more time with her in the past few days, I changed my mind. She was in bad shape herself, and yet she was always there to smile at me when things were rough. Maybe having a little sister wasn't so bad after all.
思ってないよ。
別に思われたって平気だよ。ただね、勘違いしてほしくないんだけど、ナナはお兄のこと嫌いなわけじゃないからね。
What was she talking about?
お兄って 前入院してたでしょ。それで。
入院はしてない。通院してただけだ。
Wait, if she remembers Takumi being in the hospital, so that means that that means this can't be Takumi's delusion because she wouldn't know that. So that means she's either like Shogun Takumi's delusion or the actual Nanami's delusion, but I feel like she shares too much in common with the actual Nanami, so it's probably the actual Nanami's delusion.
嘘、入院してたじゃん。
してない。お前の勘違い。
そうだっけ？まあいいけど。
Well, anyways.
とにかくお兄が学校も行けなくて大変だった時にナナがしっかりしなくちゃって思うようになったの。いつもお兄に口うるさくあれこれ言ってたのだってそういう理由なんだよ。お兄が嫌いだったからとかじゃないよ。昔はお兄が病院に行くようになる前はナナはいつもお兄に甘えてたよね。お兄はナナにとっては頼りになるお兄だった。お兄のこと大好きだった。
Aww. It sounded like Shogun was a pretty good brother. And, you know, after getting sick, you know, Nanami reciprocated it by being as good of a sister as she possibly could. So that's really wholesome. Did you have to say it in past tense?
だから今度はナナがしっかりして少しでもお兄の負担にならないようにしてお兄の役に立とうと思って。あんまり役に立ててたかどうかわかんないけど。
ダメな兄貴でごめん。
Maybe because of everything that was going on, I found myself able to say things that I'd never been able to say otherwise.
気にしないでいいよ。兄弟だもん。それにナナは昔の頼りがいのあるお兄のことも知ってるし。どんなにダメでもナナはお兄のこと嫌いになんてならないからね。
How big of a loser you are.
ナナミ。
I had no idea that she felt that way. It made me so incredibly happy. I couldn't believe that I'd ever hated having a 3D sister. I was so glad that she was here.
でも今日はちょっとだけ甘えてもいい？さっきは強がり言っちゃったけど本当はね、一人で横になってるとどんどん怖い想像ばっかりしちゃうんだ。だからお兄に甘えたかったの。安心したかったの。
She curled up and put her head against my chest. Nani smelled good.
ずっとこうしたかったんだ。
That's kind of sad because after Shogun essentially got sick, she could never really do that again.
ずっとお兄に甘えたかったんだ。
Until, like, maybe, well, Shogun's last moments. I wrapped my arms around her slender body, tightly, so tightly. As long as she was here, I didn't need anything else. Not my Seroton figures, not my ESO rep, none of that. All I needed was my living flesh and blood sister who cared about me so much. Feeling the warmth of her skin made me feel so much better. The next thing I knew, I'd fallen into a pleasant sleep. So, what's gonna happen to all the other plot stuff? Oh, wavy again. I woke up on the sofa. How'd that happen? I could have sworn I fell asleep in the bed. That's strange. I've been sleeping in the bed with Nanami. Had I come back here at some point without realizing it? I looked up at the bed. There was still a bulge in the sheet. Nanami was evidently still asleep. I checked the time on my phone. So it's 8:11. Huh? Something felt strangely wrong. Something wasn't right. Is it the day? November 4th? But what? What was this strange sensation in my heart? What day was it today? I don't remember it being November yet. Why the hell was I waking up at 8 p.m. at night? Had I been out for 20 hours? No, that was impossible. Being with Nanami had made me feel a lot less tense, but not so relaxed I could sleep for almost a full day. Maybe my phone was broken and it was showing the wrong time. I looked up the day on my computer clock. It said that it was just past 8 p.m. on November 4th. Like, how much time has passed? I mean, he said 20 hours, I guess. I don't really remember the timeline. I booted up my email software and internet browser at the same time and began to look around for news sites. They all had the same date, November 4th. I read a bunch of articles too. One of them bothered me. Oh. Wait, no, it's going too fast. No. It's a complaint surge as Savior does not show up. Blah blah blah. The message was signed by none other than Yuri Brightman himself, and both TV Today and Mount Fuji TV decided to do a live broadcast at 9 p.m. that night. This bold decision would unfortunately end poorly for them. The boy never appeared, and the live footage showed nothing but angry crowds screaming in Scramble Crossing Square. Blah 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 blah. Between the earthquake and the new gen cases, Shibuya is one of the most focused on spots in all of Japan right now. A custodian of public airwaves, we decided the event was worth broadcasting live even if the source is unreliable. We believe this decision was appropriate. The origins of the message are still unknown as of press time. It was dated October 28th, 1 week ago. Oh crap. If I recall, Nanami was, like the real Nanami was essentially chained up for a week in the Nozomi lab thing, so this is about the time when the second melt will happen. Oh crap. Did it have anything to do with the message from Shogun? His message had told me to come to O-Front at 9 p.m. This couldn't be a coincidence. There's more. Oh crap. Oh god, we've been KO'd for a while. The 7th new gen murder already happened, and yeah, what was this? Didn't make any sense. The 6th new gen case was supposed to be SMJK, right? And what the hell is the 7th case? DQN puzzle? When had that happened? I forgot what the yummy was. But basically, did we switch timelines? Or did we just snap out of our delusion? And the entire, like, week was just a delusion. I froze, staring at the new gen site. Seraton's words brought me back to my senses. From the looks of it, I had so many messages that had taken time to download all of them. The software had only just now finished. Oh god. Why didn't you come? I warned you. You think you can ignore me? You disgust me. You think you're hot stuff, huh? Don't mess with me on this. Is this some kind of joke? I'm gonna kill you, piece of shit. 53 new messages, and they were all from Shogun. From the look of it, he was pissed off. I've never seen Shogun use language like this before. Sweat started to pour from every pore in my body as I sat there in terror and confusion. I clicked on the newest email. You ignored me for a full week, huh? You honestly think you can get away with that? If that's how you want to play this, then I guess it's gonna be Nanami who pays the price. I might go overboard and kill her, but don't blame me, okay? It's your fault. What was going on here? What the hell was going on? Calm down, don't lose control. Think. This has to be a delusion. Yeah, that's right, a dream. It's just a dream. Before long, it would end, and then I'd wake up. I'd be back in the bed with Nanami. That was real. This wasn't. Oh, we got knocking on our door. The sound of someone banging on the door echoed through the room. Someone was here? I held my breath and stared at the door. Silence. Nothing at all to indicate that someone was there. Just when I thought I was hallucinating, it opens. Another knock. I wasn't hearing things. Was it Shogun? Was he finally here to kill me? But instead, I heard a surprising voice from the other side of the door. Wait, what? Is that gonna be the real Nanami? But in that case, who freed her? I guess Rimi, would it be Rimi? She would still take her action, but unless she had like the Shogun sacrifice moment, then she wouldn't really be able to get her out safely. Huh? Why? I looked over at the bed. Nanami should have been sleeping there. There was a bulge in the white sheets after all.
Oi, Nanami. Okiro.
It's just a bulge. Is it actually her? I climbed halfway up the ladder to the bed and tried to wake Nanami up. The sheets didn't move at all. Something was wrong.
Nanami!
I ripped off the sheets. What I saw was a bunch of boxes. Nanami wasn't there.
Eh?
My mind went blank. The bed hadn't been cleaned up. There's no way somebody could sleep there. Oh. This entire time he spent with Nanami and this ending was just a delusion. That was what I was afraid of. Oh man. He essentially deluded himself for so much that he lost a week of his life. It was just a bunch of boxes filled with manga and H-game packages. It was a storage space, just like it had been yesterday before Nanami cleaned it up. Nanami had cleaned it up yesterday. I looked around the room. It hadn't been cleaned up at all. Why hadn't I noticed it when I woke up? I was confused. My memories are all messed up. The voice outside the door again. Nanami's voice. Who was that Nanami? Where had the one who had been sleeping in my bed gone? What happened to the Nanami that I found shaking naked outside my room? I didn't understand. Nothing made sense. I staggered over to the door on unsteady feet and then fell up against it. The door was padlocked from the inside. There was no way to leave it if the padlock was closed. Nanami couldn't have left without me knowing it. It was impossible. Ah, so he said you can't lock the door from outside, so you have to do it from because, well, he locked it from inside, so if it stayed locked, then she has to be in this room, but she isn't, so yeah, he's realizing that probably everything that he thought of was a delusion. I thought I was going to cry. This must have been another one of Shogun's attacks, I thought. But I had to open the door. I could hear Nanami outside. She sounded so weak and helpless, and she was calling my name. I unlocked the padlock. Ooh, are we gonna see... Okay, and slowly open the door. Are we gonna see Nanami without a right hand? The door is open. Oh, okay. So how did she get here, though? Oh, wow, that's creepy. Nanami was there. She was wearing her missing uniform. Her whole body was covered in blood. Her right hand was severed at the wrist. She was holding a sword I'd never seen before, a D-sword. She was looking at me with empty eyes. I was too shocked to speak.
どうしてあの時来てくれなかったの？1週間も待ってたのに。
She was bleeding out for a week, but... what kind of... Are you a JoJo character? How much blood do you have?
鬼、助けてってずっと呼んでたのに。
This was a delusion. This was a delusion. This was a delusion.
右手が痛いの。返して。7の右手。
I never got it in this route. I don't know what you're talking about.
右手を返して。朝起きてから右手がちょっとズキズキするの。
Which was a delusion? Which was real? What was it I've been seeing? Who had I been talking to? What happened to that Nanami? Where had this Nanami come from?
鬼。
Suddenly, I heard a voice behind me. In front of me, I could see Nanami covered in blood, but I could hear her calling for me from behind. I slowly turned around and... Nanami was there. What? Is the room clean now? She was wearing the clothes I'd given to her. Her right hand still attached at the wrist. Well, technically we can't see it because the sweater's too long. there were 2 Nanamis. Oh.
そいつ誰？
Oh god. Oh wow. The 2 Nanami said the same thing at the same time. Wait, so this means that did Nanami make a delusion without her knowing? Or is this Shogun's? I really don't understand. Nanami looked at the other Nanami suspiciously. And Nanami looked at the other Nanami with tears in her eyes. Surrounded on both sides by Nanami's eye.
これは妄想だ。
I dropped to the ground and put my hands over my head. If this was a delusion, I hoped I woke up soon. This was horrible. It wasn't the kind of delusion I wanted, but I still didn't snap back to reality.
その偽物何なの？
The bloody Nanami slowly moved. She raised a D-sword. It was as big as she was, and terrible, almost painful to behold.
なんで偽物がお兄と一緒にいるの？そいつのせいでナナを助けに来てくれなかったの？ナナは偽物じゃないよ。そっちこそそんな変な剣持って偽物じゃん。
Among Us. They both had Nanami's voice. They both had Nanami's face. They both called me Onisan. Which was real? Which was fake? Were they both real? Were they both fake?
偽物のくせに
Imposter! There we go!
お兄から離れてよ。
Well, one's got a weapon and the other one doesn't, so... The bloody Nanami swung the D-sword easily with her one hand. She was aiming right at the neck of the unbloodied one. Nanami froze. Nanami's aim was true. The D-sword dug into Nanami's neck and passed right through. I just seen the sword slice through the neck of the unbloodied Nanami, but no blood came forth. There was no injury. She was standing there, just like she had been a moment ago. I'd seen the other Nanami swing the D-sword. At the speed that it was going, it should have chopped her head clean off.
やっぱり偽物。あ、ナナはなんで？
Stop it.
偽物だからだよ。偽物じゃない。
Shut up.
お兄、離れて。そいつから離れて。違うよ、お兄。ナナはここにいるよ。
黙れよ。
I screamed. I couldn't take it anymore. None of this made any sense.
どっちかが妄想だ。僕の妹はナナミは二人は存在しないんだ。
I looked at both Nanamis in turn. They both looked like the Nanamis I knew. So I turned to the one wearing the clothes I'd given to her. I made a wish that this was the real Nanami. I want the one I held so tightly on that bed to be the real Nanami. I wished, and I reached out my hand. I reached out my hand towards her face. I went to touch her cheek. But, just like the D-sword had done, my hand went up to her cheek and passed right through. Nanami was right there, but I couldn't touch her. I didn't feel a thing. It was like she was a hologram. I felt the sadness taking over my mind that I couldn't control. Huge tears started to roll down my face.
嘘だよ。ナナは偽物じゃないよ。ねえ、お兄、そうだよね。そうだって言ってよ。
Nanami came towards me. She went to give me a hug, but the Nanami in front of me had no real body of her own. Her body passed right through my hands. Wait, but like, what? I thought that he physically touched her before. That's how she knew that she was cold when she was outside, and that's how he hugged her, and all the other stuff.
違うもん。
Maybe she got real booted during those times when he physically touched her, but it's not active all the time? Kind of like how you can summon a D-sword and desummon it? Nanami's right hand gripped my left. I could feel it. It was gripping my own. Oh. So this Nanami is fake, but it has her right hand. That right hand was probably the real part of her. But he still hugged her, right? I think he said he gripped her tightly. And not just the hand, when they were sleeping. Her body, her neck, her head, none of them were real. But her right hand was touching me. The bloody Nanami, the one missing her right hand, screamed. She screamed, and then the strength drained from her body. She fell, still holding the D-sword. Nanami was sweating terribly. The color had faded from her face. Of course it had. She lost so much blood. She even had her hand cut off. Of course she'd collapse. A terrible thought came to me. I knew it was impossible, but it was the only thing I could think of that would answer what was going on. An answer out of a nightmare. A voice that wasn't Nanami's. The other side of the fallen Nanami, standing outside the door, was...
Rimi
Sakihata, holding a D-sword shaped like a pair of wings. Our eyes met. She was looking at me with such sadness in her eyes. Real boot?
現実に耐えられなくなったあなたが産んだの。理想度を持ってるナナちゃんが本物なんだよ。嘘言わないでよ。ナナの方が本物だもん。たく、あなたはナナちゃんの切断された手首をショック状態になったの。
Oh, that finally answers that inconsistency. So the hand was delivered, but seeing it caused him to fall into shock. So he kind of erased it from his mind, and as a result of really desperately trying to believe that Nanami was safe, he real booted a Nanami, or at least was tried to with the hand that was there. Oh, that still kind of makes sense. And if he was trying to real boot it, or at least while doing it, it kind of would make sense that if he tried to hug her, then maybe some parts would be real because she was in the process of being real booted. Okay, that does kind of make sense. The only thing is how did Takumi know that Nanami knew that he was in the hospital before? Because that's not really consistent. He's essentially giving her memories for parts that he wasn't there for, so that doesn't really make sense. I'm not really a huge fan of this because I feel like the things that they built up, it isn't really working out logically from the logic that the game presented, at least from my understanding of this ending or from this delusion. But also the fact that the entire time he was just hanging out with his delusion is oh man, that I feel so bad for the real Nanami.
そして妄想した。そんな手首は見てないって。ナナちゃんは5体満足で無事だって。
I hadn't seen any hand. Shogun had sent me a bloodstained cell phone, but that was all. Or had he sent a hand too? Or had I had just forced myself not to see it? Forced myself to have no awareness of it? And then that naked Nanami was something I created? And the real Nanami was the one lying on the ground in front of me with her right hand cut off after she'd been captured by Shogun?
本当なの？ねえ、タク。今すぐ妄想するのをやめて。あなたがしようとしていることは、人間を一人、丸々作り出すっていう恐ろしい行為なんだよ。あなたは今、核兵器のエネルギーをも上回る力を使ってる。
I guess Rimi would know about that since she witnessed Shogun creating a human being as well.
そのせいでこの一週間、あなたはほとんど昏睡状態だった。
Oh, that makes sense.
知覚してないかもしれないけど。
When Shogun was... Oh, okay, that does make sense. When Shogun tried to create a new person, I think he was out for like a year or something like that. That's why Takumi had such a, such a gap, because he was KO'd.
タク、このままじゃ、本当にこの世界に二人のナナちゃんがいることになるの。それに、あなたがその妄想に力を使えば使うほど、命の灯火が失われていく人がいるんだよ。
Oh, she's talking about Shogun.
だから。
嘘だ。
ごめんね。あなたを守れなかった。私の責任だよね。
Rimi's like pretty involved at the end of this. I wonder how involved Rimi will be in the other routes, because she's almost like an essential character to the plot.
だけどお願い。辛いかもしれないけど。
I'm not sure how this is gonna end. I feel like the quote-unquote good ending for this would be that he dispels his illusion. He remembers all the feelings that he had for his sister, and it translates to him essentially appreciating both like the delusion and the real Nanami. But I don't know if that's what Takumi would do.
現実を見て。今すぐ。妄想を止めて。お兄、消さないで。
I get the feeling that he's not gonna do that.
これ以上、妄想を続けるなら。
Man, I've been playing for a while, but there's so much to cut out because I had to go through like 6 of the chapters. But, I feel like we're near the end since this bombshell has dropped. Man, we really fast forwarded a week. Skipped like 2 or 3 chapters. Ooh, okay. Maybe I'll try to play this till the end.
私が、あなたを殺す。
I knocked Nanami's hand away. I was tired of all this, sick of all this shit. I had no idea what to believe. Believe Rimi? Impossible. Believe the Nanami who was looking at me and crying? Impossible. Believe the Nanami lying on the ground holding a D-sword? Impossible. Believe myself? Impossible. All I ever wanted was something simple and small, to live in peace, to not have anyone bother me, to live quietly with Nanami, my little sister. That was all I wanted. It was all I ever wished for. No, don't lie. It is now, but not before. Was I not allowed to wish? Was I not even allowed that? Then, all of you can just disappear. This whole world can just disappear. And then I'll live inside my head, inside my delusions. Just me and Nanami. Not a real Nanami or a fake Nanami. Just Nanami. Just Monica.
僕は。
I looked into Nanami's eyes. They were shining, wet with tears. Nanami was looking at me.
ナナミがいてくれれば、それでいいんだ。
And right after I said that, the third melt. The world shook.
サードメルト。
Oh. So Rimi got Nanami out of there. But how? There was never like a case where she was able to take both of them out. Oh, I just realized something. It's because Genichi Narose didn't have a need for Nanami anymore. He didn't have a need for a hostage because Takumi never came to help them. He ignored them for an entire week. So he thought he originally held Nanami and then later Rimi to make sure that Takumi would go there so he can get his code sample. But because he showed that he didn't, I guess he showed that he didn't care for either of them because he was too distracted or like deluded by the other Nanami. It showed that neither of them had any value, so Genichi Narose probably let them go. Genichi Narose is probably not dead because the third melt ended up happening after they were freed. So, wow. That really threw me for a loop. Oh, wait, it all makes sense now. Yeah, that part makes sense. My wish came true. The world was bathed in white. It covered everything, and it blew everything away. Okay. Oh, so what's gonna happen after the third melt now? He's probably just gonna get his wish. I opened my eyes to see the ceiling of my shipping container. I was lying down on my bed. Huh? Had I been sleeping? It felt like it had been a very scary dream. A really, really awful dream. But it was just a dream. It didn't matter if it was just a dream or if it was real. It didn't matter if this was real or just a delusion. There was a weight and a softness at my chest. I looked down. Nanami was there. She was sleeping, resting her head on my chest. Our eyes met. She was looking at me. She was staring. Her eyes were dewy, and her cheeks were the color of cherry blossoms. Oh. At first, I didn't know what she meant. Oh, so this was like an H game then. I accepted the situation much more easily than I thought I would have. Nanami looked so cute, so beautiful. She wasn't just my sister, she was a beautiful girl.
これからもたくさんナナのこと愛してね。
だが断るって言ったら
But I refuse. I said, my old bad habits coming back. Nanami sat up and pouted.
もう真面目な話してるのにお兄のバカ。
Baka. She got out of the bed. I realized I'd made a mistake, and I tried to figure out how I should apologize. Only then did I realize I was holding something in my hand. I brought it up to my face and realized it was a bangle. Oh, okay. It wasn't the one I'd given her before. It was fancier and cuter. Oh, it just occurred to me. Because he never left his room, Rimi never had a chance to take the hand back, and therefore the bangle. Ooh. It looked so much better on her than the last one. I got out of the bed. So...
ななみこれプレゼント
Oh, he's still deluded now. The room's not a mess that like it would have been after the third melt. He decided to just live in his delusions with, I guess, the delusion Nanami. Yep, she's still alive. I put the bangle on her right wrist. For some reason, it felt a little embarrassing, like I was giving her a wedding ring.
あー、かわいいバングルだ。ナナにくれるの？
I nodded. She smiled and looked so happy.
大事にするね。
ななみ僕たちはずっと一緒だよね。
え？いきなりどうしたの？
I need confirmation.
一緒にいたいんだ。
You may not leave.
ななみとずっと一緒に。
やだな。そんな大胆なこと言い出すなんてお兄らしくないよ。熱でもあるの？あ、わかった。からかってるんでしょう。
本気だよ。
お兄。それって兄弟として？それとも一人の女の子として？
両方。
Oh, it is going down the incest route. I see.
両方。両方か。
You know, I kept saying the not related by blood joke, but like, now that we know they're both delusions, and they're both delusions of, you know, siblings, and he essentially tried to make a copy of his sister. Would they be related by, I guess you can't really say by blood, related by delusion? I don't know. This is kind of weird, man. I guess the delusions can live happily.
お兄の気持ち初めて聞けたかも。ナナのことそんな風に思ってたんだ。
キモいかな。
キモくないよ。むしろすごく嬉しい。まあお兄がそこまで言ってくれたんだし。
Oh, this is really weird.
ナナも一緒にいてあげるよ。ただし一つだけね、条件があるの。
条件？
ね。
She fidgeted a little. Her face was bright red. She was staring into my eyes.
キスしてほしいな。
Oh, is that how it's gonna end? That's what she said. I'd do anything she wanted. I'd made my decision. From now on, it would just be the two of us. I didn't need anything else. As long as I had Nanami, that was enough for me.
ダメ？兄弟でキスなんて不潔かな。
I kind of forgot. I know I joked about this, but like, how does Noah 2 work exactly? So does Genichi Neurose essentially have power over other people's minds, but kind of allows them to have their own delusions so they're all happy? Kind of like the infinite Tsukiyomi. So is that what's allowing this to happen? Because he's just having an infinite delusion? Maybe? I shook my head. Oh wait, is it weird for a brother and sister to kiss? I think it kind of is. I mean, I personally do not live in Alabama.
お兄。
She leapt at me. I kissed my little sister. I could feel her sweet breath. It made me feel so happy, so fulfilled. My love for her was overflowing. Oh man. So now it's kind of saying that he's real booted her because, well, he was able to feel her lips, which was not part of her right hand. But for some reason, it felt just a little sad. A hot tear fell down my cheek. Oh Jesus. Oh god. And as it fell, I saw I missed it. This world was for me and Nanami. I wouldn't let anybody invade it. I had to be the big brother now and protect her no matter what. Wait, so that body at the end was like completely black, like it was burnt. Or maybe it was someone's leggings. Oh, anyways, this ending was weird. It felt like a bad end because he just kind of accepted, he escaped. He was like, I don't want to acknowledge reality for what it is, so I'm just gonna live in my delusions. I know this game is extremely reliant on delusions, but it just felt like I'm gonna ignore all the problems because I can make my dreams come true in my dreams. So I'm just gonna always sleep. And although I do like the fact that Takumi ended up growing an appreciation for Nanami, since despite all the things I said about Nanami, I think she's a pretty good character. But I still can't believe they actually went down the incest route. It's just kind of weird for me. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. This ending felt like it said, fuck all the other plot points, I'm just gonna live happily in my mind. And that's the reason why it feels so weird to me. It just doesn't feel like it really resolves anything for anyone. So, yeah, and also, like I mentioned the plot inconsistencies before. If anyone can explain it, feel free. I would welcome them because I don't think my brain is big enough to comprehend some of the stuff. But yeah, it just I don't know, man. But we're done with another ending. Oh right, what was it called? Like a dreaming something? I forgot. The ending was called dreaming something. We'll see it once this ends. Oh, that was weird though. That was weird. Oh, this just feels really weird on all fronts. Daydream end. Yeah, now we have our 4th ending. And our 2nd girl, so we have at least 4 other girls, according to this guide. The next one will be the ISA route. So basically I have to start from chapter 2. Luckily, I do have a whole bunch of save files made, so I don't have to restart anything, or I don't have to restart the game. I decided to do it because for this one, a lot of the choices were in chapter 1, as you saw, and we got that extra scene with Nanami and Rimi, but yeah, I mean, the reason why I feel like this ending really bothers me is just because I like Nanami at the end. It was kind of, the thing I didn't like about Nanami was Takami's attitude towards her, and that wasn't even her fault. It was just Takami. But it felt like the Nanami I ended up like enjoying just was not given a good end. She was once again trapped for a week and then essentially left to die unintentionally. And at the end, I think she just died because I think that the legs that we saw at the end were probably hers, and she didn't, because she was KO'd. She probably couldn't get any treatment and she was just, you know, dead. I'm assuming that she somehow, despite bleeding for a week, she was probably somehow taken care of by Genichi Narose. He's like, you know, he's a doctor. He's done surgery before, a little bit too much on Rimi, but he probably knows how to keep her alive. But now that she's out of his quote-unquote care, she's just going to bleed out and die. So I think that's what happened to her at the end. So that, honestly, this ending, it just feels bad. Oh man. But yeah, that's the end of Nanami's ending. If you have any more details, feel free to share, because I feel like I might have overlooked something. As I mean, I definitely do in this game. I kind of zone out sometimes because I just can't deal with Takami. But yeah, next time we'll do the ISA route. But until then, I will be seeing you. See ya!